Take a look at the prices posted here on this gas station sign from early 2026. Across the globe, drivers pulled up to the pump and realized something was wrong. Fuel costs spiked almost overnight, hitting levels that drained consumer wallets instantly. Expensive gas means expensive transport, and that extra cost quickly bled into the price of groceries and basic goods. The pain was especially sharp in developing economies, thousands of miles away from any major financial hub, like here in India, where everyday budgets were suddenly stretched to the breaking point. A sudden military escalation between the United States and Iran, occurring thousands of miles away, triggered the specific financial shockwave. Our modern standard of living relies on a global supply chain that is highly sensitive. A localized geopolitical dispute on one side of the planet can rapidly drain your bank account on the other. The geographic center of this crisis is the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow channel between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. Despite being only 21 miles wide, this choke point acts as the primary energy highway for massive daily global oil shipments. Because so much physical traffic relies on such a tight space, the system is highly vulnerable. If this route gets blocked or becomes too dangerous to navigate, you get an immediate massive traffic jam of supertankers stuck in open water. By controlling or even just threatening access to a 21-mile stretch of ocean, a nation effectively holds leverage over the entire global economy. To understand how this traffic jam actually happened, we have to look back at years of escalating friction over Iran's nuclear program. The core dispute comes down to intent. At facilities like this one, Iran maintains its nuclear program is strictly for peaceful energy production. The United States and its allies, however, strongly suspect the underlying technology could be used to secretly develop nuclear weapons. Because neither side could agree or verify intentions to the other's satisfaction, they spent years trading severe economic sanctions and political threats. That created a highly volatile pressure cooker environment. By early 2026, that long-standing diplomatic tension finally boiled over, resulting in direct military strikes and retaliatory attacks in the region. When diplomatic friction goes unresolved for that long, the pressure eventually finds a physical outlet. Words turn into weapons. As soon as the fighting started, the regional fallout hit the water. Military actions occurred close enough to the Strait of Hormuz to threaten anyone passing through. For the operators of these massive oil tankers, the risk was simply too high. Major international shipping companies were forced to halt their operations completely or take massive detours, paralyzing maritime transit in the area. When the oil stopped flowing, the financial markets reacted instantly. This digital display shows the resulting sell-off, as investors and governments realized a severe global energy shortage was suddenly a very real possibility. That immediate panic on the trading floors drove up the price of oil, which translated directly into the high fuel costs at the gas pumps we saw earlier. We tend to think of global finance as abstract numbers on a screen, but those markets operate on a razor's edge. They rely entirely on the physical security of very specific geographic choke points. The economic bleeding was so fast and so severe that it quickly became a problem for the entire world, forcing both warring parties to accept outside help. A massive effort from global diplomats and mediators eventually brought everyone to the negotiating table. Together, they managed to broker a temporary ceasefire focused on reopening those critical trade routes. The intervention worked, at least for the moment. Oil shipments through the strait gradually resumed, giving panicked global markets a much-needed chance to stabilize. Modern de-escalation depends on immense, coordinated international pressure to force concessions that simple bilateral talks often fail to achieve. As of June 2026, the shooting has stopped, but the underlying crisis is far from over. A ceasefire is a pause button, not a permanent solution. If we look at what is holding up a final agreement, the main friction points remain rigid. negotiators are deadlocked over how to enforce strict nuclear inspections and guarantee long-term physical security for the Strait of Hormuz. Because those heavy issues remain completely unbalanced, the current peace is incredibly fragile. One miscalculation, or one isolated skirmish on the water, could instantly restart the entire financial cascade. We live in a hyper-connected world. A localized dispute over a 21-mile stretch of water directly dictates the cost of living for people everywhere else. Understanding these hidden geopolitical links is essential for navigating the modern world. If you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Knowledge Pixel so we can keep explaining the events shaping our planet.